So let's play Jesse Ventura, right? You remember him. He's former governor of Minnesota, also a former wrestler, and has like a genuine independent style, like political ideology.
Good anti-war politics.
Yep. Some other stuff maybe a little too libertarian for my tastes. But, and you'll recall Hulk Hogan, again, Peter Thiel sponsored his lawsuit against Gawker as a way of bankrupting Gawker. That was it, because Gawker had done a blind item on Peter Thiel, supposedly outing him, and he wanted to end that publication, and so he did. And he did it behind the cloak of Hulk Hogan. But here's another story about Hulk Hogan that I think is also telling.
Yeah.
What's the likelihood of that ever being repaired?
Never.
What?
Sorry,
Can't
go
trust
back,
him.
Bradley. This is him asking about Hulk Hogan friendship.
Duality or ownership to him.
You and Hulk were once good friends.
Yeah.
What's the likelihood of that ever being repaired?
Never.
What?
Can't trust him. I'm not friends with anyone I don't trust. I have to have a trust with someone to be their friend. And he's the one that ratted me to Vince when I tried to unionize. I found that out under federal deposition when Vince was put under sworn. Wow. And he didn't hesitate at all. I told my lawyer the story, and in deposition you could ask about anything. And so I wanted to know who ratted me in the locker room, because there were no agents, no one from the office was in there when I did it. So it had to be one of the boys. And when my attorney said, Mr. McMahon, has there ever been a union in wrestling? And Vince said, no. He said, has anyone ever tried to? And Vince said, well, I think Jesse Ventura spouted his mouth off about it once before. And my attorney said, did you hear Mr. Ventura? No. Well, then how do you know he did? With no hesitation, Vince went, Hulk Hogan told me. And I didn't show any emotion, but I almost tipped over in the chair because he was my friend. And I thought, but then I understand why. When we went to court, I saw in WrestleMania 3, Hogan got paid more than all of us combined. Now, why would he want a union when he's getting taken care of? Imagine that, WrestleMania 3,
Scab.
93,000 people, and he got more than Andre the Giant and all the rest of us combined. If there was a union, would that happen? No.
What communication did you?
That's really interesting, because the WWE is infamously, or pro wrestling,
Yep.
one of the remaining unprotected professional sports leagues in the country. They don't have a union because they use these exploitative independent contractor agreements with their wrestlers that also don't guarantee them health insurance. Like, professional football players have certain guarantees for the rest of their career. It's still threadbare. But because they have a players union, that helps them with healthcare going on in the future. I also think it's really interesting. I didn't think about this until you brought up how Gawker, that lawsuit, was funded by Thiel, and then Hulk Hogan was the conduit. Media Matters just had to lay off a bunch of people.
Oh, from Elon Musk.
And Elon Musk is suing Media Matters, but Thiel and Musk, come from the same background, and they're still connected business-wise. He learned that from Peter Thiel. He's trying to sue Media Matters, which does great work combating the right, because they were once critical of him
Free
in the
speech.
same way
This is a
Thiel
threat
did.
to free speech in our society.
Yes, right.
And
as they cry free speech.
And wrestlers are truly, like as you were saying, Emma, so exploited. Like there was an interview a few years ago with the wrestler Bailey, and she basically was like, "We have to drive to every single event where we never have a day off. If we're not live on TV, we're doing house shows or dark shows, so which are like unbroadcasted shows, and they have to find transport, room and board for themselves, basically, despite being some of the most successful people in their industry."
I will also say my estimation of Jesse Ventura went up considerably too
With that,
with that story.
I mean, he met with Castro,
Dana White is very anti-union as well.
Well, I mean, that's what's such a joke about Sean O'Brien speaking earlier on in the RNC. It's just like Trump is doing a handshake deal with some of the most anti-union people, these like tech crypto libertarian bros, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, in the entire country. So I don't give a crap if Josh Hawley decides that he wants to fashion himself as pro-worker and rhetoric in some sort of
There's people should.
Hearing.
I got a couple of stories out of the Kansas City Star about Josh Hawley. Nobody on that picket line was excited to see him. They all knew he was full of crap.
Or JD Vance for that matter,
Yeah.
which we played. So that's what's shameful about that O'Brien appearance, frankly.
And a little context too about the Hogan Teal thing is that Hogan was getting backed by Teal because he sued Gawker for what was essentially publicly made available. He thought it was like defamatory that there was this video of him, basically caught in an extramarital affair with his friend's wife.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Bubba the Love Sponge, this radio host. But it was public domain prior to the lawsuit. Like it had been disclosed.
Well, the
before.
issue was never about what he was suing him. This was a way for Peter Thiel to take them out and do it hidden under the cloak of Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan was a sad case, is like a sad sack. And Peter Thiel just found a conduit, and that was it. I mean, it didn't come out until much later that Peter Thiel had done it. And, you talk about like people have a chilling effect from government. That can happen without a doubt. But there is really no restraints with people who have tens or hundreds of billions of dollars. There is nothing.
Well, I mean, really, the First Amendment is like compared to us. Like Britain has real trouble with libel law and people getting wrapped up in lawsuits that will get thrown out under our courts. But yeah, if you have enough money, you can really mess somebody up.
If you have enough money, it doesn't matter, because the issue is never whether someone's going to lose or win. You can drain them of money by simply never backing down.
Because you can keep paying lawyers.
Tort lawyers will go in and they'll say, "We'll give, I'll take 1/3 of the settlement or the award," and that's a way of essentially preventing a lot of lawsuits that are frivolous, because they're not going to invest their time unless they think they can win. However, if you are a multi-billionaire, probably even 100 millionaires, you can just simply say, okay, tell me what you think you can win from this case, multiply it times 3, here it is.
Yeah.
And now get to work. And that's it. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.